Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This is Passport Nomad coming back at you with a positive love story today here in the Philippines. However, before we get started, as always, I must ask if this is your first time here, please hit subscribe, like, and smash that notification bell to help support this channel. Now, moving on with today's content. We will be hearing a positive story about a black American expat who found love here in the Philippines. This story was posted on Reddit, so let's get right into it.
I'm a strong, independent woman. Plus, why don't you spend more time with me? Plus, you should make more money. Equals no thanks. I've been pretty open and honest about my journey in the Philippines. I stick my neck out because I hope some newer expats can learn from my mistakes. A common theme I see in this sub is how to find a suitable partner. While it's easy to meet a girl here in the Philippines, some men are surprised that finding a genuinely good partner is harder than they expected. The old model was simple: a retiree content to have a young, pretty smile next to him at night, supporting her and lifting her family out of poverty. But many younger guys today want meaningful, fulfilling relationships, which means they're pursuing women who aren't desperate and, therefore, have higher standards. The days when you could come to Makati, wave your American passport around, and instantly attract women are long gone. In my opinion, the challenge is twofold. First, Filipinas, especially in Manila, have more options than they did in the past. Second, younger expat men tend to be pickier than the older retirees who traditionally settled here. I realized this after my first 6 months, and I had to make an honest decision about what I wanted in life. Did I want to be a sugar daddy and get a desperate girl who'll smile on my face but secretly resent me, or did I want to lose weight, work on my character flaws, and be the best version of me? I chose door number 2 since it was cheaper and healthier for me anyway. I did a high-protein, low-carb diet and started working out every day. I also took my focus away from finding a wife. I canceled my subscription to Filipino Cupid and just started building the life I wanted. I went to church, started playing badminton, and found other ways to socialize with Filipinos. I realized how genuinely friendly Filipinos are. I don't feel like a foreigner here, unlike in Vietnam. After 4 years and a lot of trial and error, I found her, my other half. I mentioned before our first date was to Landers and we got pizza and a soda, and she was totally fine with that. We had a great connection and it didn't take me long to know she was the one. That being said, we still get on each other's nerves, but I'm happy that we can be candid with one another about when we need space. So here are my tips for expats looking for a meaningful relationship in the Philippines. 1. Be honest about what you want. Know whether you're looking for something casual or serious. 2. Those Filipina dating sites are the worst place to look for a Filipina if you want a genuine relationship. The chances of meeting a gold digger are very high. 3. Build the life you want, and you'll meet a girl who fits into it. Want a church-going girl? Join a church with lots of single women. Want an active partner? Join a hiking or sports club. Want an intellectual connection? Check out poetry readings or TED-style talks in BGC. 4. Never lead with money, unless you have money to burn or all you care about is physical satisfaction. If you do, you'll attract the wrong kind of attention. One last thing to add is this. I know there are positive stories from guys finding their forever on those dating sites. I'm referring more in general. It's better to meet someone in person. That's just my opinion, of course.
So, yes, I personally agree with what he was saying about not leading with your wallet. There are a lot of guys who go wrong over here just doing that. When you're not looking for a genuine relationship, you should never lead with your wallet over here, especially unless you're not serious or you're I don't know, maybe you're paying to play. But just keep in mind what your money is really attracting to you. It also is attracting everything bad that you don't want. Bad attention, such as scammers, GDs, and thieves. All the wrong kinds of attention. But moving forward, as I looked into the comments, someone pointed this out. They're saying, I just read 6 paragraphs and you didn't tell us how you found your fiance. And of course, there's a couple of other comments that went behind it and everything. And then somebody made a crazy comment saying he followed her into a gym session, into a jeepney, sat near her for 30 minutes, right? And told her she looked like a spinner. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Why would they say something like that? And people up here trying to go over what do they mean by a spinner. Some people don't know what a spinner is in some words, and some guys do. And let's just say it wasn't very nice wording. But this guy's talking about how he met the love of his life, his wife, and you're gonna bring that up and say that, you know. But anyway, I'm looking down into the comments, and the only good response that I saw to that rhetoric that they were using was the last comment, which says he met her by working on himself and not looking. And that's as simple as it needs to be. He told you basically that he wasn't looking. He gave up on dating sites, canceled his subscriptions to it, and he worked on himself and worked on his mind, his body, you know, his spirit, whatever he needed to work on to get to change himself for the better. And that's like, I applaud that guy for doing that. Now, as far as him saying, not going into detail of how exactly he met her, he shared as much as he wanted to share, and that's his choice. So you got to respect that. But moving right along, I'm going to show now clips of other guys that have come over here and have found success in finding the loves of their lives and girlfriends or their wives and getting married and having children. And I'm going to end it from there on out.
I want to go over how me and my wife, Queen Ina, we met. You know, it's been a 6-year relationship. We've been married for almost 6 years. We've known each other for 7 years. And it all started with me taking a nice plane ride to the Pearl of the Orient, known as the Philippine Islands or Republic ng Philippines. So upon touchdown of Ninoy Aquino International Airport, you know, me and my wife, we spent some time together. I've met the family, her mom, dad, her sisters and brothers. And, you know, I want to do things right. And one of those things is when you ask for a woman's hand in marriage in the Philippine tradition, it's called pamamahikan. You know, so I talked to the mom and dad first, talk to the dad first and foremost. And, you know, and then there comes the Spanish Inquisition. Right, and rightfully so. If I had a daughter, I would do the exact same thing. What are your plans for the future? What are your goals? And things of that nature, you know, so he can feel comfortable of giving his daughter up for me as far as marriage is concerned. And of course, she has a older brother-in-law who also he's a police chief in Manila, and he did the same thing, you know, to make sure that there was no, you know, cause for concern. Especially this is my wife's first time, you know, being asked for a hand in marriage. But all those things came off with no hitch. You know, had a great time. As a matter of fact, this Inquisition I was talking about with his mom and dad, with her mom and dad, went over a bottle of Red Horse, or what we call Caballo Pula, and some Emperador, which for those who don't know what that is, it's like cheap brandy that tastes like gasoline for the most part, but I started learning to get a nice little knack for it. But it was a great time.